Welcome to Temple Newsam House. This is one of the great treasure houses of England, and this great mansion sits in a park of about 1,000 acres, and it was once part of an estate of over 4,000 acres. It's owned by Leeds City Council, who bought it in 1922 from Lord Halifax for a very nominal sum. Our story goes back at least 1,000 years. In the Domesday Book there was a property here called Newsam, the Anglo-Saxon word for new places, and then in the early Middle Ages it became a property of the Knights Templars, the soldier monks who guarded the roads to Jerusalem for pilgrims, and it was then that it acquired the prefix Temple. The first house to be put up on this site was built by Thomas Lord Darcy in about 1520. He was a soldier and a mercenary and a courtier, a man of adventure in many ways, and he built here a four-sided courtyard house of brick and stone. Its angled window bays and the diamond-shaped patterns in the brickwork can still be seen in his parts of the house. Unfortunately, Darcy was on the wrong side of the Reformation, and he was beheaded by Henry VIII for his part in the rebellion known as the Pilgrimage of Grace. Henry then gave Temple Newsam to his favourite niece, Lady Lennox, and it was here that her son, Lord Darnley, was born and brought up. He was really the most famous person who ever associated with Temple Newsam, who later became the husband of Mary, Queen of Scots. Queen Elizabeth was so enraged that Darnley had married without her permission that she confiscated Temple Newsam, she threw Lady Lennox in the Tower of London, and Temple Newsam remained a royal property, falling slowly into decline over the next 60 years. Eventually, in 1622, it was sold to a self-made Yorkshire millionaire, Sir Arthur Ingram. Sir Arthur demolished most of the earlier house, just retaining the central block, and then threw out two new wings either side so as to make a new three-sided courtyard house. Along the parapet he had this wonderful pious inscription installed, originally in carved stone letters and then later replaced in cast iron in the late 18th century. The descendants of Sir Arthur Ingram lived here for the next 300 years. At the restoration of King Charles II in 1660, they were given the title Viscounts Irwin. But the title died out at the end of the 18th century through the lack of a male heir. The last Lord Irwin, though, had 5 daughters. The eldest, Lady Hertford, inherited the property first, and she created a wonderful Chinese drawing room here. And then it passed to the third of the sisters, Elizabeth, who had married into the Mennell family of Staffordshire. And from then on, the family became known as Mennell Ingram. When the last descendant of Sir Arthur Ingram, Hugo Francis Mennell Ingram, died in 1871, he left everything to his widow, Emily, who lived on here for 33 years as a childless widow. She made some really important alterations in the house, like the great new staircase and the dining room, and many alterations to the park and to the estate. When she died in 1904, she left everything to her nephew Edward Wood, the future Lord Halifax. During the First World War, much of the house was given over as a Red Cross hospital. And then in the Second World War, the park was almost devastated by open-cast coal extraction. But since then, huge efforts have been made to restore the house and the park to make it somewhere that everyone can enjoy.